What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of Fieldy's Flicks, the first installment. I'm really excited about this. Basically, I'm going to be watching 1 to 2 movies per week, giving them reviews and putting it up here on YouTube for you all to watch. And I'm going to score it 1 to 5. I think with everything going on right now in the current environment, I think it's pretty easy to watch a bunch of movies. So I have a good list right now. It's going to be sent in by you guys, my friends, family, subscribers. I'm going to get a good list going, and I already have five or six, and none of these I've seen before. So this is all my first reaction, my first time viewing them. And without further ado, let's get into it. First movie that I saw the other night, Interstellar, directed by Chris Nolan, came out in 2014. Stars Matthew McConaughey, Jessica Chastain, John Lithgow, Matt Damon, Michael Caine, and Hathaway. So it has a star-studded cast, and Chris Nolan, obviously coming off the Dark Knight trilogy, capping off that success, really has another hit on his hands. This is one of the best movies I've seen in a while. So basically, Matthew McConaughey's character Coop and Murph, his daughter, find coordinates, and he has to go, he tracks them down, and he finds NASA's location, and NASA's kind of hidden underground, not really doing too much at this point in time. He runs into Michael Caine's character and Anne Hathaway's character, who are working on kind of trying to get people off the Earth. They're trying to find habitable locations in other galaxies, because right now the Earth not doing so hot. I think it is 50 years in the future, 50, 60 in a sense, around that time period. There's dust storms, the crops are dying, so they need to find a place to go, and Michael Caine sends Matthew McConaughey along with Anne Hathaway on this mission with a couple other people, and they basically have to go and find habitable worlds through a wormhole into another galaxy. So it's really cool what they build on that. Chris Nolan has the plot woven in fantastically with time, and how time and space are kind of affected, and how the characters are affected by that. It really gives the viewer the stakes that they know that Matthew McConaughey's character Coop, he has to get back because Murph, his daughter, is aging, and Tom, his son, they're both aging, and there's only so much time left because he has to get this information back, and not only does he have to get this data, but he also has to get back for his kids, and his kids play an important role. There's also a real emotional scene with McConaughey's character and him kind of looking back in time. And again, that's talking about the time aspect. It really plays a toll on the characters, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's really well done. That doesn't happen if you don't have the first act setting up these characters, because if you just kind of go into it and then play these scenes and have them play out, it doesn't have as big of an impact. And I think that's what Chris Nolan did really well. Not only does he do the action and the suspense and the great shots and the creative looking visuals so well, he does the character building just as good. And I really was surprised at how it kind of creeps up on you, and you're like, oh my god, like, this is so sad, but yet you know that McConaughey has to go on and Coop has to keep doing what he's doing, because if he doesn't, then everyone's in trouble. So what really works is the plot and how everything is interwoven. The first act is so good because it sets up the characters and their motivation and kind of the ties, especially between McConaughey's character Coop and Jessica Chastain, played also by Mackenzie Foy's character Murph, and their relationship, father-daughter relationship, and how that connection really is built upon and kind of is a centerpiece for the finale in the final act. So really that relationship comes full circle. And then once you get into the second act, I mean, it's just breathtaking, all the stuff that goes on in space and finding the other planets and looking through wormholes and going to new galaxies, and Chris Nolan just does a fantastic job. And obviously he paired up with Hans Zimmer again to score the film, and I think that Hans Zimmer kills it again. I mean, there's sequences kind of like a ticking clock in some some scenes throughout the movie, and it's just so suspenseful, and it creates that feeling of urgency, like they need to get off this planet or else they're going to die. I think the best things that they do is using no sound. When they choose to use no sound, it's the best, because when they're in space and something's going to happen, there is suspense created by using no sound, because you're expecting there to be something, and then when you don't hear it, you're like, oh, it's fine, but then something happens. So it's like really well done, and it's done multiple times, I think, really effectively. So that was a big thing. And then for the end of the movie, I would say you definitely have to pay attention. I think the ending is really well done, but it can be a little confusing, so if you aren't paying attention and you don't know what's going on, you might be a little confused, because this is a long watch. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes, almost around there, and if you're not in it for the long haul, then you may miss out on some things. I think the second act is really good. I enjoyed the second act, but I do think it kind of got a little slow, as movies tend to do. That happens all the time. But there are some cool things in the second act, exploring the new planets that they want to discover in order to survive. I'm a really big world building person, so I think that's what really appeals to me. So when you kind of build and kind of set this world up, that there's not much time left, crops are dying, everyone's kind of going into panic mode, they need to find somewhere else to go, they need to go into space and find new planets. When you set that up and when you build the characters, that's what really appeals to me, and I know that appeals to a lot of other people as well. So that was done really well, and I think overall this is a fantastic movie. It's something that I really enjoyed watching, and I can't wait to watch more. This was starting off on a bang. I'm going to give Interstellar a 4.7 out of 5. Would totally recommend watching. Next video, we're going to probably tackle The Godfather. So, haven't seen The Godfathers, so I'm going to see the trilogy next. And then probably after that, it's going to be Whiplash, then Fight Club. So that's what we got coming up on the docket for the next couple of videos. That's all we got for episode 1 of Fieldy's Flicks. Thank you all for watching, and have a great rest of your day.